Welcome to Animating Stuff, a live streaming event from Animateducated. And now, here's your host, Jim Richardson. Thank you very much. And thank you for attending this live event. Now, storyboarding should actually be called, they say, story reboarding, because as a storyboard artist, everything that you draw changes, because the story might change, the acting might change. Anything, little changes like this affect the storyboard artist all the time. And so I thought I would show you an actual storyboard and find out if you know, if there's anyone here that's watching this live. I'll ask the question, how many storyboard scenes do you think this was made of? Okay, so this is a scene from the sequel to the Incredibles. This is where, you know, the next movie that they made, and this is a scene where Mr. Incredible takes his daughter and son into a diner, and I don't remember when that happens in the movie, but this is it. And after this, I'm going to actually show you the clip. And hopefully I won't get flagged by Disney, but I might. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out. But I know I can show this because it doesn't have the actors talking or music or anything like that. So this is the storyboard. So this excuse me, this storyboard probably started off very rough, and they probably had to plan out all this stuff, and this is like the final version of the storyboard that they finally put together. And it starts off with this is a whole sequence inside the restaurant, and they're sitting down, and you can see Dash is kind of saying something, and Violet's kind of looking at him like an older sister would. In this case, you notice that it's showing how tall they are, you know, their sizes. And you can see Mr. Incredible's arm there, so you know that's where he is. And they even put like somebody in the background there just to let you know that, you know, there are people in this restaurant and they're back there. Okay, so so then it goes to like just typical thing. It's like kind of like a Denny's almost, where, you know, here comes a waiter, you know, they're putting the glass down. Here's, you know, giving you some water, and Dad's talking, and Violet goes to drink, and she notices something, and she spits out her water, and is just horrified by what just happened. And then we see this, and we see that Tony there, who's the kid from the last film that she really likes, is, you know, helping clean up the mess. And so this is just two panels where we just kind of go back and forth. Violet obviously is just, you know, mortified by this and embarrassed, and you know, Mr. Incredible here is trying to, you know, just kind of make conversation as they wipe up the table, you see. And there's some interaction between that, and I think he introduces Violet here. And, you know, he says, hi, you know, oh, her name's Violet. And he's like, oh, okay, hi, Violet. And she's just like, oh, God, please go away. And, you know, hi. And she's like, yeah, nice to meet you. Yeah, okay. And goes back to like, how can I get out of here? And meantime, you know, Mr. Incredible's saying something here about obviously know each other, and you know, she gives Dad the evil look, the evil eye there. And Dash jumps up and, you know, nice to meet you. You know, I'm Violet's little brother, you know. And so this is a real interesting thing. What do you do if another character is asking, you know, offering a hand, like handshake? So here, you know, you got an opportunity. Like, what do I do? Do I put the water on the table and then put my hand out, or what? And so the artist kind of went through it and decided kind of switch hands, you see, and then kind of reach out like that in that many drawings. Of course, Violet's just like, please, just get out of here. And so we see them shaking hands. And that's really a funny shot. Let me go back. This holds on for a bit because this is from Violet's point of view, you know. And now Dad's saying something about the water, you know. Oh, this is really good, you know. Is it like spring water? And he says, no, I think it's, is this spring water, my good man, you know? And he's like, no, it's tap, you know. And then and he's like, yes, nice, very good tap, you see. And Violet's just like wants to get the hell out of there, and this is where she decides, yeah, I gotta get out of here. And so she gets up, and she just disappears. And this is fun because, you know, okay, well, I'll be right back. And Dash has kind of jumped into her spot now. And so here we see, I wonder what's going on. And then this shot is just kind of a shot of, kind of a faraway shot here, looking at Dash, and he drinks his water like that. It's interesting, if you ever go to LA, there's a restaurant that looks very similar to this. It's right across the street from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences Museum, and they rent it out. And I think this is based on that that restaurant. So this is called the Happy Platter. Yeah, they're walking.
Why did we drive all the way across town for the Happy Platter?
We'd like a booth over there near the philodendron. Good, right? Near the philodendron.
So this platter doesn't look all that happy to me. It looks bored.
Ha! The bored platter.
I thought Vi would want to change a pace from drive-in food.
I like drive-in food.
Does this mean vegetables?
A balanced diet means vegetables, kiddo. Get used to it.
Good evening, everyone.
Is
she all right?
Yeah, more napkins.
It's fine.
Good.
It's fine here. Mops it right up.
Normally, she doesn't ever drip like this.
Would you like water, sir?
Yes. Yes, I would. This is my daughter, who you must know, right?
Hello.
Violet.
Hello, Violet.
Hey, Vi, say hi to...
Don't push it, Dad.
I'm Dash, her little brother.
Hello.
This is really good water. It's very refreshing. Spring water, is it?
I don't know, sir. I think it's tap.
Well, it is very good.
Excellent tap.
Excuse me.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Well, where'd she go?
To find a good place to be angry?
Okay, so that's the scene, and that's the final scene. So I want to show you a few things here. It's kind of fun. This is an establishing shot. We're just establishing where we are, and then the storyboard starts already when they're seated at the booth. So you got this whole like kind of entryway here. Looks like any typical kind of, you know, not really a fancy restaurant. What I like about this is the different characters that are animated in the background and foreground, and you know, just supporting cast. Like this one here. This is the hostess, obviously super bored, waiting and waiting and waiting. She's very skinny. She kind of, you know, just kind of looks over there like, oh, okay. And look at how she moves. It's really cool. So whoever animated this, you know, maybe they didn't animate the main characters, but they were assigned this character, and probably there's somebody that's animated all these people in through here. As you can see, there's lots of different people here, and this is one of those things where we cheat time. We show that they're going towards the table, and the lady's already there, and she's got a children's, you know, chair already there, and she just kind of reveals it and does this very kind of ta-da, you know, after you. And nobody really seems to pay attention to that. I think Mr. Incredible kind of acknowledges. And then, look, she kind of walks off like, yeah, whatever. Alright, that's kind of the attitude that she has. So you can see how these other people, though, everybody's doing something, you know? They're all just like extras in a movie, you know? And so this is also fun. I like how Violet sits down and that cushion just goes way down. And it keeps everybody, she's taller than him, but it just makes everybody the same size. Now you notice that the back of where she is, that's a big booth kind of backing there, and there are people in the other things. And then she turns and, looking very bored, and her brother's saying stuff. I love this too. She hops over just to get away from me, right? Very subtle. And then, Mr. Incredible talking about stuff. And, as you saw in the previous, in the storyboards, he's holding the kid, the little kid the whole time, the baby. And now, here's that scene, getting the water. This is nice because you've already established the camera locations. We're already seeing kind of like their point of view. We're with the kids looking up at Dad, and now we're kind of looking from another, perspective, looking at them, how they're together here. And Violet's like lower than everybody. And he gets his water, just typical. So he's still matching this. He's putting water down, just like reaching over, filling that one up, filling this one up. And just like in the storyboard, she reaches over. I think I can do this frame by frame. Can I do that? Nope, not today. Oh, maybe I can. Let's see. Can I do that? Well, it's not frame by frame, but it's every other frame. Anyway, she's going like this. And there's just enough time for her to drink and kind of look up, because she recognizes the voice. And then she... and, nice. Totally, Dash is like, whoa. And she's mortified, right? She's hiding from, and we still don't know who this person is. And then we see who it is, and we're like, oh, wait a minute. And she's just like, I want to get out of here. Dad's kind of, offering to, do this. Here comes Tommy kind of putting this, or Tony, I think. It's Tony or Tommy. And then, then we go back to this. She's just mortified. He's trying to, chat up the waiter there. And, Dash is just enjoying the scene. Look at her. She's still trying to recuperate. So we're just going back and forth. And there's something for him to, they're all doing something, And so now the focus is on, her name's Violet, you see. He's like, oh, hi, Violet. And she's just like, yeah, good to meet you. Just so embarrassed. And there, I love that. I just love that he's says something. She's like, don't you dare say that, Dad. Right? So you can see behind there, people are back there animated. So there's someone who is in charge of animating the crowds. And so now here comes Dash to even further embarrassment. She's looking at him. He's shaking hands. Look at that face of Dash, just looking so smug. She's just like, oh, please, God, let me out of here. There's her point of view. Little pinky up, holding the cup. This is water. Is this spring water? So refreshing. Spring water? No, sir. I think it's tap. I love this expression. Oh, I see. That's very good. Yes, very good, my good man. Now, here's where Violet starts to move, getting up. And she just wants to get out of there, back out and take off. And we all are kind of left with this. And so he kind of excuses himself and goes off like that. Meanwhile, this is where we've done a little editing here, because Dash is actually, if you notice what he's doing, she moves away and he moves in to where she was. And that big, that the back of the booth is right there. So what's happened here is we've removed the booth completely. So the camera's right there, and that's a better shot than the storyboard, as you can see, because this allows us to see this shot better. We can see a whole family looking off screen. Where did she go? And it gives him more of when he says his line. It's more interesting than what we saw in the storyboard. And that just sometimes that happens where the storyboard is not going to be perfect. It's going to sometimes the director will probably see something or change something along the way to make it even better. But the storyboard is just basically a guide, which is always being updated as we go. So let me see, how do I get out of this? Let's see, can I do this? There we go. Okay, so you can see the final one here is she leaves, right? He leaves, right? She sulks off, and Dash replaces her. He's up here, and then we've got that same shot, but instead on the storyboard we go to this shot, which is, it's okay, and maybe this would have been good to see Violet walking back there if we wanted to, but that's not really important. The important shot would be this, and probably Brad Bird decided, yeah, let's stay on this, and we'll just have him rotate his head around like he did in the final shot, and we'll take out this stuff because he says something, obviously says something here, but you notice how this one's a very nicely composed shot. We're kind of looking at his Mr. Incredible. We're looking down at Jack. Again, Jack's not into this part. He's over here. Let me see if I can get to that one. Where is Jack? Jack. He's sitting over there in his chair over there. So we kind of look at Mr. Incredible. We got that nice light there, so your eye goes right to the brightest point. So we can look at his expression, and I think he even says something. He says something. So we're looking at Mr. Incredible, and then when Dash turns around and says something, we kind of look at him, and we both look at everybody there to see what's happening there. But that's why sometimes you want to take out something like this, because it's not as powerful as the last thing you saw, which was like something like this. Now here's a clip from Casablanca. This is camera setup A. You'll notice that Humphrey Bogart's talking to Claude Rains, who is here. This is camera setup B. He's sitting up against the wall with a lamp. We cut back to C, which is a closer shot, cut back to this, same shot, go back to this, and now we go back to this again, and we notice there's a wall behind him. But in this scene, the next one scene here, there is no wall. And that's a cheat, because we want to get the camera behind the actor. But see, now there's the wall again. You see? So, obviously, when you watch this movie, you don't notice things like that. You're more interested in what's happening, what they're saying, things like that. So we go back to camera setup C. And here we go to D, which is the same wall, except we move the camera back a little bit, and then we continue to see. And in this scene, this is where Dash is in the big booth with the big backing. He jumps in here, and we're here. And that's the same as Casablanca scene. There is no back booth wall. So make sure you go see The Inventor. It's coming out this Friday, September 15th. It's going to be playing for at least a couple weeks at a theater near you. There's it's being released nationwide, so you really got to find the theater. And I've left the information below on the episode. Watch the Inventor interview, which is playing right now. Jim Capobianco's interview talking about the inventor and how he made this during COVID, and then had to deal with the writers and director strike, writer and actor strike. And his actors and writer, he couldn't, they can't promote the film. They're not allowed to. So you can contact me at animatededucated at gmail.com. And and let me know if you have something that you'd like to show, or I don't know, anything. We can make an episode out of it. So if you enjoyed this episode in any way, you can press that button right there to subscribe. And if you want to look at more films, scroll down and watch interviews, other videos. I've got one right here that's pretty good. And this is not bad either. Yeah, so check those out. And we'll see you next time on Animated Educated.